Welcome back, parents and students. Hope you had a pleasant Christmas. In this video, we're just going to be reviewing what we looked at prior to Christmas break, and that was arrays and applying multiplication to them and writing their equations. So this is a little review from where we left off before Christmas break. And we were looking at arrays, and a lot of the same properties that applied to area models are in arrays. The only difference is we aren't using squares now, we're using dots, which makes a big difference. And these dots are representing one unit of something. So let me do this one here just as a refresher. So each dot represents one, and you can think of all the ones that you like. I like M&Ms. So if I were to lay out M&Ms in rows and columns, equal rows and columns, it would look something like this, and I could calculate how many M&Ms I laid out without counting each and every one. Now there is some counting involved. We're going to have to count how many columns are here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 columns. And how many rows we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now if you remember, these are M&Ms. So it's like how many M&Ms are here in this entire array. And we're going to use multiplication. That's going to give us the product. Now before we used to put multiplication in the corner up here for area model, but we have to be very specific about how we count our arrays. In this particular example, I'm going to count my arrays this way, and I'm going to circle 4 M&Ms. Now how many times do I have to circle these 4 M&Ms before the entire array has circles of 4 M&Ms? Well, that's 1 time I circled it. This is 2 times I circled it. 3 times I circled it. 4 times. 5 times. 6 times. 7 times. 8 times. 9 times. So this is my times side. I'm going to put my multiplication symbol right next to my 9, because this is 9 times what number did I multiply? 4. I have 9 equal groups of 4 here, and that's probably something you're familiar with from 3rd grade. And probably even from 2nd and 1st grade they do a little bit of this. But they didn't have arrays, and they weren't concerned about where this multiplication sign is. So when I write my multiplication equation up here, I'm going to say 9 times 4. So this comes first, the amount of times I'm multiplying 4 by. And hopefully you've done your skip counting before you work on this, on your arrays here, so you have a lot of products to choose from. 9 times 4, if you were to count out, if you were in your 9s and you count out 4, you would come across 36 M&Ms. Now remember, we're always putting our unit in here. I don't want you to forget about our units. We're always going to have units when we answer questions concerning any unit. There's always going to be a unit at the end. This one only has 1 because we aren't making, these aren't squares, these are dots. And it's not a unit of length, we're just counting how many are inside the array. Now I'm going to go down to this one here that's a little bit more complicated. Now we're going to set it up the same way we did with this one. I'm going to say this is Skittles. And you remember my Skittles example from before Christmas break. We do the same thing. I'll count my rows first. There's 4. That was easy to count. And now I'm going to count all these columns here. And there's quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There's 18 here. Now I don't know 4 times 18 because that's not in my skip counting. And I'm going to show you how to solve this particular one. We're going to use a strategy of breaking this down into smaller groups and then adding those groups together. So let's take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to divide my columns into 10 here And there should be 8 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. And those two equal 18. And I already know 4 times 10. What's 4 times 10? This is 40. So this is going to equal 40 Skittles. Now over here I have 4 too. Since I have organized rows and columns, I could multiply these two together too and say, well, what's 4 times 8? And that may be a little bit more challenging, but it's less challenging than saying 4 times 18. 4 times 8, anybody know that one? Is 32. So this is equal 32. Now we're going to add those two together. And 2 in the ones place and 0 in the ones place is 2. And 3 in the tens place and 4 in the tens place is 7. So this is going to equal 27. Now up here for my equation, I still have to do the same thing I did here. I could have 18 times 4 or 4 times 18. And you know, Mr. Budinger, I always like to have my smaller number first. So I'm going to organize this array this way in groups of equal amounts 4 times. And each one of these has 4 Skittles in it. Or I'm sorry, 18 Skittles. So I have 18 Skittles in each group, and I'm multiplying them 4 times. So up here, my equation would be 4 times. Now, I'm going to use the original number that is here. I'm not going to say 4 times 8, 4 times 10, 4 times 8. I'm not going to use the distributive property. I'm going to use this original 18, because that is what makes up all the rows here. But I don't have to re-multiply this because I already know my answer from figuring that out down here. 4 times 18 is 72 Skittles. So most of these are single digit, except for an exception here. I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can also divide this up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 12 here. You can divide this up into 2 sections also. So try that just like we did here. Let's look at the second page. And I think we're okay with the second page. I think all of these are single-digit arrays. Down here, go ahead and make your own array and group your whatever happens to be your units, group your units in equal groups and determine whether you're going to group them in rows or columns, and then come up with your multiplication right up here. And then probably next week we'll have a test on this. It'll look something like this. There'll be 6 problems out there for you to group and to write the equation. And so study this, pay attention, try and do the best you can as far as this work. You don't have to do all of them at the same time. Maybe do half of them and then pick up the rest of them another day. But always try and make sure that how you're writing the equation and how you're modeling the equation always agree with each other. Good luck.